Hi there, Mary Beth Temple here, and we're going to make this vintage inspired, easy to crochet dishcloth. And we're also going to learn the horizontal puff stitch while we're at it. Now, for this model here, I have used one ball, and I used every inch of it, of speed crocheting, which is a vintage thread that is discontinued. Now, at the time of this recording, I have 3 colors of this available in my shop for a very low price. So if you want to do exactly what I did, I can help you out. On the other hand, I think it would be really hard to learn this dishcloth and this stitch in that color. So we're going to use Queensland Collection Coastal Cotton Fine, which is a 100% cotton number 2 fine. It's a sport weight, and I'm using a crochet hook size E or 3.5 millimeter. Now, the first thing I did is I chained 47, and the second thing I did is I single crocheted in the second chain from hook and in each chain across, giving me a first row with 46 single crochets in it. And as I so often do, I crocheted in the back or the bump of the chain, so I got that nice neat edging. Let's get to the interesting part. So the first thing we're going to do, you have 2 options here. You can chain 3 and turn. I prefer to do a standing double, so I extend my loop a little bit. I'm bringing my hook behind that loop and grabbing the yarn over like I would for a regular double crochet. And because I'm making a standing stitch, I'm going to go ahead and work in that first stitch. If I was doing a chain 3 and turn, then the chain 3 would take that place. Inserted my hook in the stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop like I normally would. I have 1, 2, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, and draw through 2 twice. So there is my standing double. I have a double crochet right at the very beginning of my row. Now I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 3 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to make our horizontal puff stitch. So there's a couple of things going on here. My double crochet groups, except at the beginning and the end, are going to be groups of 4. 3 of those 4 stitches are double crochets, and then the 4th is the horizontal puff stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and bring my hook between the first and second double crochet. I'm going to insert my hook in there. I'm going to yarn over and draw up a loop. It is important that you do not do this super tight, because you will mess up your gauge from side to side and it will row out on the rows where you don't have a puff stitch. So you want it, let's see if we can get a little closer here. You can see that my big yarn over here is coming up to the same height as the other stitches that are already on my hook. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, insert my hook between that first and second stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, making sure it's the same height as my other stitches. Let me get a little more yarn out here. And I'm going to do that a 3rd time. Yarn over, insert my hook in that same spot between the first and second double crochet and draw up a loop, making sure that is all the way up here. Now I'm going to yarn over and draw through all of the loops on my hook. And you can see I'm angling my hook down just the least little bit to make sure that I get through smoothly. The only tricky bit of this is the counting. So here's the top of my horizontal puff stitch. That horizontal puff stitch takes up this space right here, this single crochet right here, even though there's nobody in there. So now when I follow the pattern, it says skip 2 single crochet, double crochet, chain 1 in next single crochet. So I'm not technically skipping this because it's related to the horizontal puff stitch, but I'm skipping this one and this one. And now I'm going to double crochet chain 1, double crochet, all in the same stitch. Chain 1, double crochet. Now I'm going to skip 1 single crochet. So 2 on this side, 1 on this side. That's just what I need to do to make it lay flat. And I'm going to set up my group of 4 double crochets in a row, but because this is a puff stitch row, I'm going to skip this guy. I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 3. 1, oh my goodness. 2, let's do a better job of that, shall we? And 3. And now we're going to horizontal puff stitch. So in this case, I don't have this first double crochet on there. We've only got that at the beginning of the end. I just have these 3 in a row. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook between that V-stitch and the 3 doubles. So that's 1, bring that loop all the way up. 2, 3. I should have 7 loops on my hook. That will be the working yarn, the working loop that I started with, and then that yarn over draw up 3 times gives me 6 loops. So a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over draw through all 7, and once again watch as my hook angles down a little bit to make sure that I get through all 3. Skip 2 singles, but remember this one is occupied. So skip 2, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, or V-stitch, however you prefer to call it, in that next single crochet. So here I am, I've done my last horizontal puff stitch. Remember this stitch is occupied because that's the one where the horizontal puff stitch's hat belongs. I have 1 single crochet left, and I'm going to double crochet in that single crochet. So I want to make sure that all of my rows begin and end with a lonely double crochet. And here we are at the end of row 1. Those of you who are sharp-eyed will notice that it's a little more narrow than the original. I have 1 fewer repeats, and that's because I used every inch of that speed crocheting, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were not playing yarn chicken if that's the thread that you choose to use. So I'm going to do that standing one more time. I'm going to draw that loop up to about the height of my normal double. I'm bringing my hook around that loop, grab my yarn over, and then remember I'm working in the very first stitch. Because this is a standing double crochet, it is not a chain 3 turn. If you prefer to work a chain 3 turn, you certainly may. Now, it says double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So if you look at the top here, I have this guy, which was the horizontal puff stitch, and then the next 3 double crochets are here. 1, 2, 3. So let's do that. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to pull that the top of that puff stitch out, but I know you can do it. And now here's my 3 doubles. I'm working in the top of my 3 doubles. I'm doing 4 doubles in a row, 1 in the horizontal puff stitch, and 1 in each of the 3 plain double crochets. So remember, I have 5 doubles at the beginning and the end, 4 everywhere else. Now I'm going to go to the chain 1 space, which is right here in the middle of this V-stitch, and I'm going to make another V-stitch, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now I'm skipping this double crochet, which is part of the V-stitch, and I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1 is the puff stitch, and then the 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do this all the way across, and when I get to the very end, I will have that 1 solitary double crochet left, and I will put a double crochet in it. And then if I'm going to do a chain and turn, I will chain 3 and turn, and if not, I'll meet you back here for your standing double crochet. But you can see my groups here are now 4. It's only 5 at the beginning and the end. We're coming up on row 4, which is very much the same as row 2, except we're working in our double crochet row that is already set up instead of trying to work in the single crochet row like we did the first time we did our puff stitches. So if you're looking at this in columns, it's just going to be a 2-row repeat from here on out. Puff stitch, no puff stitch, puff stitch, no puff stitch, etc., etc., till you get to the end. So you either chained 3 and turned, or you put your standing in that first double. I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a horizontal puff stitch, and for this first one I'm going to put it between these 2 doubles, the first and second. So that's 1, 2, 3, not too tight. Whoops, I split there. Let's see if I can fix that. Seven loops on my hook, yarn over and draw through all 7. Remember, we're not dealing with this double crochet because those are the shoes and that's the hat. It's already there. I'm jumping. So when it says skip 1 double, it means this one. We're going to go ahead and go right here and put our V-stitch or our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet right in the V-stitch. So they line up now and forever. The V-stitches are already in the V-stitch. They're always going to be in the V-stitch. It was just here for the first time they popped up that you had to count. One more time, we're going to double crochet in each of the next 3 double crochet. That's 1. We skipped this one. I got excited there. I got ahead of the pattern. 2, 3. And remember, this time our horizontal puff stitches goes right on the other side of those double crochets because we don't have that first double crochet to worry about. 7 loops on your hook, yarn over and draw through all of them, and then we saunter off to the V-stitch. So that's all there is to it. Now, when we get to the other side, I like to finish with a row that has the puff stitches in it because I began my double crochet rows with puff stitches. Alright, I'm going to put a row of single crochet across the top to match the way that I had the single crochets across the bottom, and to make it so that we have the same number of stitches because we have a multiple of 8. We're going to put 1 in each double and a puff stitch. So in the puff stitch is 1, 3 doubles, 2, 3, 4, and then here you have 2 options. You can go before the double, in the chain space, in the double, or if you don't want to sort of finesse that extra stitch right there, you could jump over here, do a double crochet, put 2 in the chain space and 1 in the other double crochet. So you want your 4 double crochets to turn into 4. You want your V-stitch to turn into 4 so that it matches the bottom. And just remember, you have that extra stitch at the beginning and 1 at the end, and I have to tell you, that's how much yarn I ended up with the ball of speed crocheting. So if you look at the pattern, I have taken 1 repeat out so that this doesn't happen to you. Thanks so much for joining me. I am Mary Beth Temple, and we'll see you again here real soon. Bye-bye.